We open our SML video with a prison shot where Brooklyn guy is giving Simmons the tour as he's a new recruit. We then see Bubbles, which is just about the only piece of fan service we'll see from this old era of SML. We then see Nancy using a spoon to dig herself out of prison. You know, it's not the spoon that makes me break my suspension of disbelief, it's the fact that nobody notices that she's about to escape until, well, she escapes. Call this nitpicking if you want, but honestly, it doesn't even really look like she's about to escape. She just kind of looks like she's digging in some sort of fireplace looking area. You can't even see a hole, you can't see anything to indicate that she's even close to escaping. You can't see a hole, and that place looks like it's pretty thick, so I don't see how she's able to get through fast enough before the cops see her. A minute later, and she's gone. What could have saved this scene was shooting it from a different angle where we see Nancy's face, and then as she's digging, have Pablo or whoever's operating the puppet lower himself down, and that way it kind of gives the illusion that she's digging her way out. You could even add sound effects to sounds like what something is like caving in or something to indicate that she managed to get out quickly. But no, when the characters go to investigate, she's just gone, and we're just supposed to believe that she's just gone. And the worst part about this is the fact that later on in the scene, you can actually see where she dug, but there's no hole, there's nothing to indicate that she escaped. Again, what could have saved this scene was if it was shot from a different angle, from the point of view of the area she escaped in. That way we can still convey the idea that she managed to escape without having to look at this place and notice that there's no hole or nothing to indicate that she managed to escape. Okay, but whatever, she escapes through the tunnels and out of the prison. Apparently this prison has no security. We then cut to a scene in the middle of a field with a white van where Screwball is ready to kidnap some children. Nothing wrong with this scene here, except pedophilia is wrong and you shouldn't do it. It's not something that I should be saying because it should be common sense, but unfortunately we live in this kind of world. Anyways, I will praise this scene for having some really good cinematography. So Screwball gets ready to take off and kidnap some children. We then cut to an impressive shot of a forest, and then we see Nancy managing to escape from prison somehow. There's no police officers chasing her, there's no helicopters to scan the nearby area or anything to indicate that the police are after her. She just manages to escape and we're all supposed to believe it. And then by some coincidence, Screwball just happens to be driving in the same street Nancy ended up from escaping prison. It's very convenient, in fact almost to the point of a plot contrivance, that Screwball is in the right place in the right time where Nancy just so happens to escape and these two just happen to meet. What could have been better is if Nancy was already plotting to escape months in advance and that she was in contact with Screwball from the outside, and when she escapes, she contacts him in order to get him to go into this specific place where she would make her escape. Not only would this make the scene more natural, but it would have actually showed a bit more character to Nancy to show that she is actually pretty intelligent. But nope, instead we get this huge plot contrivance where Nancy ends up meeting with Screwball, and if it were anyone else in this situation, they would have immediately noticed that Nancy is wearing a prison suit and they would have called the cops on her. But whatever, we just gotta deal with this plot, let's keep going. We then cut to a police station where Brooklyn guy is informing to his boss that Nancy has escaped. You know, I don't see any attempts to at least chase her down, considering that she couldn't have gone far since Brooklyn guy and Simmons were just about to get to her cell just as she escaped. If this is supposed to be a highly secured prison filled with very dangerous criminals, why did they not have security underneath the tunnels? Oh, I'll go screw myself. At the Jeffy house, Mario... I have to say Marvin now, I forgot they changed the name. Oh, God. Marvin plans Jeffy's 18th birthday in hopes to inherit the money that was left behind by Jacques-Père François, a famous painter who died and left his fortune to his son, which turned out to be Jeffy in the video Jeffy's parents. Rose, not Rosalina apparently, calls Marvin out on this for only caring about Jeffy's money, despite the fact that Marvin had no idea that Jeffy was worth millions until after he adopted him, which implies that Mario does in fact care about Jeffy in some way. Did I say Mario again? God, it's Marvin, sorry, I'm just used to saying Mario in these reviews, but anyways, Marvin treats Chef Pee Pee like crap for some reason, even though Marvin is like one of the few people who actually care about Chef Pee Pee and don't treat him like crap. It seems a bit out of character, but whatever. Marvin then goes to wake up Jeffy, who is in his bunny suit pajama costume thing, and you know, it just occurred to me now that it would have been a lot more interesting if the story delved more into the ramifications of Jeffy growing up. Since Jeffy is now 18 years old, it could have been a story about Marvin trying to teach Jeffy to grow up or at least be more mature, but instead it's just, oh, Marvin only cares about the millions of dollars. No way does he actually care about Jeffy until the last few seconds where character development yada yada yada. Whoops, did I spoil this review already? I'm so sorry, but hey, if SML fans can turn off their brains and say this video is good, then I guess you could do the same for my video and just keep watching. So then Marvin gives Jeffy the birthday hat, and this could have been a very tender moment to show some character to Marvin by showing that he does care about Jeffy, and it's not just about the money, but no, it's all about the money, unfortunately. So then Jeffy goes downstairs to the party and absolutely loves it, and all of his friends are invited to the party with Junior, Joseph, Cody, and Patrick. Now, it's worthy to note that Patrick is the only one that actually plays some kind of role into this plot later on. All of the other characters are just here because, well, they exist. Nancy and Screwball then arrive at the Jeffy house where they plan on kidnapping Jeffy. The first plan is simple. Screwball simply just goes to the door, rings the doorbell, and when Jeffy comes in, he just takes him. But of course, there is no guarantee that Jeffy would be the first one to answer. And what do you know? Marvin is the first one to answer the door. So yeah, the first plan just did not go so well, but Screwball wings it anyways. Instead of closing the door on him, Marvin thinks of a good idea to invite Screwball in, this complete stranger that he did not hire, and as soon as he starts doing stripping poses, he should have immediately suspected something. And only after a minute or two does Marvin even think to kick Screwball out of his house, but admittedly, it does lead to this very funny scene.
Go on, get out of here!
Hey, listen.
What?
I'm sorry.
Oh.
Go on, get out of here. Hey, listen.
Okay.
What? I'm sorry. Get out.
That was funny. It was about the only funny thing in the movie, Math, but anyways, the plan is foiled, so now they need to come up with a new plan, and this next plan is just foolproof. Screwball just lures Jeffy with a piece of candy. Well, first of all, your first hole in this plan is that Screwball would have to be at the house again so that he could be nearby to actually lure Jeffy out with a piece of candy, and I'm pretty sure the characters would notice that there would be a clown nearby. And the second hole to this plan is banking on the characters would not suspect that a random piece of candy is just happened to be in the middle of the party. Oh wait, there's a piñata, so nothing to worry about there, I guess. And of course, the adults don't realize that Screwball is right there, like he's not even far away, he's literally right there, and nobody notices him. Like, isn't Marvin there? Oh my god. Anyways, so Patrick is the one that gets kidnapped. So they just let him go because obviously he is not the target. I mean, I'm not the target audience for this specific video, but whatever. So we're at the climax of the party, and Jeffy is gonna get ready to blow his candles, but he wants everyone to dress up like him for some reason and sing the happy birthday song 18 times. For some reason. This could have been a learning experience for Jeffy. Like, Marvin could have taught Jeffy that kind of thing would actually be annoying and get people to not like him, and that you can't have everything you want, even if it is supposed to be your special day. Not only would have that been in character for Marvin to tell Jeffy that, but it would also have been a character moment where we would have seen that Marvin does care about Jeffy because he's trying to teach him to be more mature while also letting him down easily. It could have also been a unique source of conflict with Marvin and Rose, and she would have argued that Jeffy deserves to get what he wants, while Marvin is trying to teach Jeffy to be much more mature. It's definitely in character for both of the characters, and it could have been interesting, but again, this opportunity is wasted and nothing comes of it. Marvin just complies to whatever Jeffy wants, and yeah, he doesn't even try to protest. He just does it because he's a beta male, I guess. And then we get to our obligatory breaking news, okay? And then we get a retcon where the famous painter Jacques-Pierre François is still alive. My god. This just feels like a cop-out. Of course, the painter is still alive, which means Jeffy will never get the millions of dollars of inheritance because we needed a source of conflict in order for Marvin to change his mind about the party, of course. There could have been so many better ways to do this cop-out. Like, yes, it's a cop-out, but there could have been a better way to handle this. For example, maybe they don't realize that Jeffy doesn't get the money until after the party is over. And the twist could have been that Jeffy isn't related to Jacques-Pierre François after all, which means that Marvin's putting up with Jeffy for all those years could have all been for nothing. That would have been a much better twist. Instead, we get this cop-out where he just, oh no, he turned out to still be alive. Great. Also, the way he died, or at least faked his death, is retconned. In the original Jeffy's parents, it was clear that he died because he shot himself.
World-renowned painter Jacques-Pierre Francois has died. He reportedly shot himself in the head, making a painting called The Suicide. He leaves behind his $1 million fortune to his only child, who is unknown at this time.
But in this new timeline, it turns out he just fell off a bridge and faked his death.
Francois has died. He reportedly fell off a bridge and landed on a canvas. And with his last dying breath, he named the painting the as his body hit the canvas.
It's a minor nitpick, but it kind of feels obvious that they were planning this cop-out ahead of time or something. And it turns out he does not care about Jeffy one bit. Of course, he's the stereotypical bad dad. Marvin is absolutely pissed off that he's not going to get any of the money, and to be honest, I don't really have a problem with this scene. It's kind of in character for Marvin to do. He's been taking care of Jeffy for who knows how long, and after all of that effort, he finds out that the money that he was supposed to get, he's not gonna get it anymore, so it's kind of understandable that he would be angry at the moment and he would say things that he probably doesn't mean. The problem here is the fact that Jeffy actually put Marvin through a lot of crap that it makes sense Marvin doesn't want to take care of him anymore, and there is no indication in any of those past videos that Marvin deeply cares for Jeffy or anything like that aside from that scene in Jeffy's parents. And nowhere in the movie does Marvin reflect on taking care of Jeffy and ever think of a happy moment with him or realizing that he does love him. No, we get no scene like that later on in this movie. After this part of the movie where he gets kidnapped, he just gets nothing. No scene, no character development. This is it. This is up to this point what he thinks, and we don't blame him for it. So then we get to the third plan, where he just lures out the children with ice cream music, and everybody is dressed up as Jeffy. That's great. So then they go outside to get some free candy. Now, I know a lot of viewers will be like, wow, they're so dumb, they don't realize how sus that free candy van is. But in all honesty, these are just kids. Junior was raised by a terrible father, Joseph has no parents, and Cody's parents are just as bad. So it's not that hard to believe that these kids would fall for the free candy van because they were probably not taught the stranger danger slogan by their awful parents, or in Joseph's case, no parents at all. The problem here is the fact that Cody knows that a white van with free candy on it is a red flag and it's an old trick in the pedophile book, so he knows this. But he doesn't attempt to stop Junior, Joseph, or Jeffy from getting near it, or even attempt to not get kidnapped himself. He just goes along with them. So yeah, suspension of disbelief is broken again. So then the characters fall for Screwball's little trap, and then Marvin shows up and realizes the very sus van there, and then he tries to stop them from getting the candy, and then what comes next is very unbelievable. But then, so Marvin gets near the kids, tells them to go away, but then Screwball picks up Marvin and kidnaps him. Doesn't even realize that he just kidnapped an adult. Admittedly, the cinematography here is pretty great, but it's a drone shot. You know, it's still pretty great. It's just he gets kidnapped, and nobody notices him. I mean, I know that was the original plot of the scrapped movie, but still, it's disappointing. The characters don't even suspect anything that Marvin may have been kidnapped, and they just sing happy birthday. They don't suspect or question why Marvin doesn't come back inside or anything like that. They just happily sing, and Marvin is kidnapped. Great. Great. They then find out in the breaking news segment that Nancy has managed to escape, but Rose reassures Jeffy that she won't let anything happen to Jeffy. Meanwhile, Nancy realizes that Screwball kidnapped the wrong person and instead kidnapped Marvin. Nancy wants Jeffy's inheritance money, but Marvin tries to explain to her that there is no inheritance money since Jacques-Pierre Francois is still alive, but Nancy obviously doesn't believe him, so he holds him up for ransom. Mario tries to contact his family, but in a series of unfunny events, which one may call filler, he keeps getting misunderstood, even by Rose, who apparently thinks that Marvin is with a side chick or something. I mean, I don't know why she would believe this, but you know, I guess she's not that smart. So Nancy, fed up with all of this crap, decides to just tell Rose herself that yes, she's holding Marvin hostage, and yeah, they need to get the money, yada yada yada, oh god. So then Rose calls the cops, and instead of tracing the phone number back to where Nancy might be located and making a possible sneak attack in order to rescue Marvin and minimize the damage, they instead spend the next few minutes advertising this car. I'm not even joking. The next few minutes, the next scene, is just literally them advertising the car. This scene absolutely serves no purpose in this movie whatsoever, and it just feels like it's here to fill in the runtime. This scene feels like it's just there to make the movie, well, much longer because it's only like 37 minutes. Not only that, but the police officers call Nancy and tell them that they are after her. They don't even try to be discreet. They literally just tell her that they are coming after her. And yeah, then they also give in to her demands. How wonderful. Good police officers just doing their job. So then we get another cinematic shot with the van in the middle of a field, and you can see the car is coming by. And you can tell that they did multiple takes because you can see the tracks on the grass. I'm not nitpicking, it's just something that I've noticed. Anyways, because Nancy told them to not bring any weapons, the cops just assumed that she would not have any weapons. But to the absolute surprise of no one, she has a weapon! Oh my god, the villain's not playing fair. What were the cops expecting? They're not that smart, are they? It's revealed that the officers brought Jeffy along, and in exchange for Marvin's freedom, Nancy gets Jeffy, and the cops just give Jeffy away. I'm not complaining that they're giving Jeffy away because I don't like him. It's just that would cops realistically do this? I don't think they would. So once again, my suspension of disbelief is broken. So then Nancy takes Jeffy away and Marvin is sad about this. Listen, I can believe that Marvin may deep down care about Jeffy. Even after all of the hell he's been put through because of Jeffy, it's possible that Marvin and Jeffy did get along, and yeah, they do like each other somewhat. The problem is, this is never ever expressed in any other video or in this movie. It's clear that Marvin does not like Jeffy, and Jeffy has put Marvin through hell. So it makes absolutely no sense why Marvin would suddenly care about Jeffy's safety. In fact, most of the filler in this movie could have easily been cut out and the runtime filled with Marvin's character development and explaining why he suddenly cares about Jeffy. But no, he just cares about Jeffy out of nowhere. It absolutely makes no sense because a few scenes ago, he literally complained about how much hell Jeffy has put him through, and during the phone call scene, Jeffy, well, completely negated the fact that Marvin's been kidnapped, so that would have been even more of a reason for Marvin not to care about Jeffy. So many missed opportunities here, so much effort could have been made, but no, there is literally no effort. But as it turns out, they have a sniper rifle with them, and then it leads to a admittedly pretty cool and tense action scene. I'm not gonna lie, this is probably one of the best parts of the movie. I'm not joking, I actually think these scenes are pretty well done and they're executed fairly well. The cinematography and the camera angles, it's well done, alright? I'll admit, this part is actually pretty cool. It's kind of too bad that SML fans are going to use this scene as a way to say that yes, he did put effort into this video, which, I mean, yeah, one cool action scene doesn't mean that you gave a crap, just saying. So then Simmons uses his sniper rifle to shoot the van and then it explodes, and for a moment I thought Jeffy would die, but spoiler alert, he doesn't die. Admittedly a cool shot, but here's my problem. Jeffy is alive. That's literally my problem. They could have killed him off. They had the opportunity to kill him off, but turns out there was a reveal that Jeffy managed to escape. But here's a problem with that. Did nobody notice that Jeffy managed to escape? Did people literally not see that Jeffy managed to jump out of the van? Did they not see him? Did they not see him jump out of the van? Well, okay, happy ending, I guess. Jeffy is alive. Oh, and Screwball is alive too because he too jumped out, and again, did nobody notice either of them jumping out of the van? And so, that's the end of the video. Everybody lived happily ever after, the end. So, my overall thoughts on the video, it was crap. This video is crap. Okay, let's get the pros out of the way first. What are the things that I like about this video? Well, the action scenes were pretty well done. They were well shot, well edited, well choreographed. It was all fairly done well. It felt tense, so yeah, I did enjoy the action scenes. And there were a couple of jokes that did make me laugh. And that's it. Those are all the pros I can think of. Now, let's get to the concerns, the cons of this video. Well, where do I even begin? First of all, this is supposed to be the SML movie. You know, the movie that was hyped years ago, that was told to be the biggest SML video that would cross over all of the characters that we know and love into one big epic adventure. And because Nintendo made a cease and desist letter to SML, that video, that movie will never come to fruition because it's just filled with plush toys and copyrighted characters that Logan cannot use. But despite that, all hope is not completely lost. All Logan would need to do is just reshoot the movie, but with the puppets instead. I mean, sure, it wouldn't be the grand adventure that it was supposed to be. You'd have to cut out key characters like Mom Luigi and rework the entire plot, but despite all of that, it could still have been a good puppet movie at the very least, or just an okay movie. Instead, we got a 37-minute video that's called a movie, and now I know a lot of people are going to say that, wait, no, this isn't actually the SML movie. But the fact is, Lance himself said that this is supposed to be what the plot of the original movie was to be, and they advertised it as the SML movie, as the biggest SML video ever made. This is what it's supposed to be, and it's disappointing. The thing with this video is, it's supposed to be the biggest SML video ever made according to Lance, and yet it feels just like a regular SML video, but just extended to be even longer. There's more filler than necessary, and because of that, it just kind of feels like a short film rather than the biggest SML movie ever made. And throughout that runtime, it felt like a waste of time. Instead of having scenes where the characters were developing and the plot flowed naturally, we get pointless filler scenes, jokes that go on for way too long and aren't even funny, and in general, it just feels like it's a bad episode of a sitcom. Throughout this review, I gave criticisms on how to make this movie a lot better. They could have had more scenes with character development, less filler scenes, and in general, just make the plot flow more naturally. And I know SML fans are going to get on my case and say that I'm just an older SML fan who's salty that Logan is going in a new direction and I should just let go of the past and just embrace this new direction and love it. Well, here's the thing. I don't have old SML bias. I understand that Logan wants to go in a new direction, and I accept that. I accept that Logan is going in this direction. But even if I am going in this new direction, the video still sucks in general. Just hear me out. I'm not angry because there isn't an older SML character like Shrek or Black Yoshi or Mama Luigi in it. I'm not angry because Jeffy is in it. I could care less if Jeffy is in this video or not. What I am angry about is the fact that the video could have been so much better. Like I've said before, I gave my criticisms on explaining on what could have made this video a lot better. The problem with this video is that it sucks. Characters in this quote-unquote movie get little to no character development or rushed character development that makes absolutely no sense and comes out of nowhere. There's a bunch of filler in this video that is just there to pad the runtime, and of course, a bunch of unfunny jokes. Every character is an asshole. They're all a bunch of jerks that I cannot like or care about. Because of that, this video honestly is really bad. And I feel like the only reason people are defending this is because of the action scenes and the extra mile that Logan went to make this video feel a bit more epic than usual. But I honestly do not care what efforts Logan went to make this video more epic, because despite the effort, the rest of the video clearly had none of it. There was no effort put into the characters. There was no effort put into the story. It was all just done because it's epic, it's big, it's loud, and of course, SML fans will eat it up instead of thinking critically. I am no doubt going to get a bunch of defensive comments that are going to say that, oh my god, I'm trashing on Logan's clearly hard work. But these fans are probably hypocrites because I made my own version of the SML movie, and I'm willing to bet that those fans are going to watch that one and then say Jeffy's 18th birthday is the superior one, even though I actually put effort into my movie. Where's my points? I mean, I put effort into my video, yet apparently I can't criticize Jeffy's 18th birthday because he put effort into that one as well. SML fans can be pretty silly sometimes. But none of that matters because at the end of the day, this video just sucks. Like I've said before, bad story, bad character development, rushed character development, filler, and it's just disappointing because it could have been so much better. I wasn't expecting the SML movie. In fact, I wasn't expecting too much, and I was still disappointed because this video could have been so much better. And instead, we got this. My final rating, 1 star. That's it. This video was just bad. It gets the seal of shit's approval. Thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you all in the next one. Peace out. So does this mean I'm going back to reviewing SML? I don't know.